there's so many things like right there that
I think people need to remember that there's no way of making money without doing work.
yeah. Right.
Like, just because, like, you're like, oh, this could be easy. Oh, he's the owner of the company. It's like, no, there's still a lot of work involved, and there's levels of stress that incur at each and every single person's job. That I believe that is why you have X amount of zeros after the numbers.
Yeah.
Based upon the levels of stress involved.
Yep.
Because there are certain things that, like, oh man, that'd be a great job, and you're like, yeah, the stress is a little high. Really, you think? And then it's like you get in, and you're like, ooh, I don't like that. And any job that I look at as like a high stress job that doesn't get paid enough, I'm like, I don't want to fuck with it. I won't fucking touch it. There's certain, and I think everybody has, like, whenever you bring up paperwork to some people, they're like, no, not doing paperwork.
No, to me, that feeling is like having to be on the phone all day. I don't like being on the phone. I hate calling people. I don't like that. Like if I worked sales, it would be the worst fucking thing I could do. Having to call people.
I don't think you could do it.
No, I hate that.
I don't think, like, there's certain things that I could not do.
I'm very personable. Like, I like talking to people. There's something about, like, calling people about business that I don't like. Like, let me email you.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
No,
I'm weird with that.
Yeah. No, the one place that I'm, like, overly polite is grocery stores.
Yeah.
Like the cashiers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always overly polite to cashiers because I'm like, I would never do your job.
I used to do that. It sucks.
I could not, because it's like the grocery store. I'm a little OCD about. Whenever I don't go to the grocery store as much anymore because Hannah does it all now. Mm-hmm. But like I have a certain way of doing it, like packing a cart and unloading the cart, and because all I look at is the time it takes to unload groceries for a whole family, 5 people, and a me or you that eats a fucking asinine amount of food, and the organization that goes into my home for how it should all be done. Like I have a system. As a store clerk, like it's easy to fuck up somebody's system or certain ways of doing things, or smashing the bread or crushing the chips or fucking something up. So I'm always like overly polite because I know their job is super intense, and some people lose their shit, and I'm just like, I have it so organized that like you can't fuck it up. And I'm like, I hope your day's going well because I could not do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Ever.
Kim does that. Kim definitely does that.
Oh, I think all. I don't like to use OCD. I think that's a bad way to describe
Just
organized
efficient,
people.
like
Yeah,
efficient.
efficient is better.
Yeah.
OCD says disorder. That's not a disorder. I don't have a disorder. I have a way of fucking doing things.
Yeah.
And that way is right. Yeah. It's my way.
I am in the way. I am in the way at the grocery store. It's so bad.
But if you had to do it,
Yeah.
you would have a system.
For sure.
Because you are very organized.
Yeah. As much as I wouldn't want to tell her, I'd model my method off of Kim's.
Yeah.
Because it
not
seems
her.
to work really well. She's
Oh, my
just so
God.
fast with it. Like that's.
Well,
I don't
again, it's efficiency. It is like it is organized, because whenever it was just me doing all the grocery shopping, like, dude, I'm like, time is of the fucking essence.
Yeah, you got like an hour.
And I have to be perfect with it so that because if I get all clusterfucked, I'm just going to get angry and frustrated and pissed off. So I'm like, yes, this is how it's organized. It's organized in my cart. It's organized onto the belt. It's organized into the bags, back into the cart, into the truck, into the house, into the fucking cupboards in the fridge. Mm-hmm. It's a system. And that system was perfect. Hannah's is very good, too.
Yeah.
She does a good job. It took her a minute. Yeah. 3 years later, she's finally caught on. But now when she goes and comes home, she's like she has her thing down. And I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of the way because she has her system, and she now understands. She's like, you were right.
I when I try to help, it looks so bad, and I feel it. Like I'm like, how do I not know how to do normal life things? Like sometimes, because I don't. Like I don't know where things are. I still go in the right drawer for utensils. They've never been in there. They've never gone in there. I don't even think they were in there when you owned the home.
Probably not.
Like I don't know why I go for them over there. Yeah. Couldn't find a
It
colander.
seems like the place that you would put them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And you are, I don't want to say mentally lazy.
No.
Because I do the same things. There's certain, like, the one thing that really pisses me off in my house is Hannah separates the cups and the lids. Like, because we have there's three women and a Seth. And then a Seth Jr. He's not there yet. But we have so many fucking to-go cups. And they all like their cups. They're Starbucks cups. They're fucking, I don't even know. They're water bottles for Jim. Well, they all go into this cabinet that has pull-out drawers, okay? And they're all stand up. It's really organized. But the lids are separated from them.
Ooh.
But here's the thing. If we're on there, what happens is SJ gets in the cabinet or the girls being kids fuck it up and they fall over and the lids and all the shit go everywhere. But here when they're separated, it's organized and all the lids do fit.
Yeah.
They're all right. They're all there.
Right.
So her system does work, but every now and then I get a little fucking pissed off about it. Like once a month I cause a fit about it and she's like, would you just shut the fuck up? And I'm like, I'm going to go away. But, this brings up a good point. While Hannah was away over the weekend, they went to Erie, which is the Stars and Stripes Invitational, I think, or one of those. It's a big gymnastics meet here in Western PA. 50-plus teams go to it. It's a 4-day event. Starts Friday morning and ends Monday night. So they were gone from Friday until Tuesday. And I had SJ the whole time because Hannah doesn't want me taking SJ, especially to this meet, because he'll want to go out on the floor.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with a fucking 1.5-year-old that can run and he thinks the gymnastic, he plays over there all the time.
Yeah.
She's like, if he's there, it's going to cause me anxiety. I'm like, good, it's a big meet. I'll stay home with him. Yeah. This little fucking bastard is into everything. And 4 days of not having any adult interaction, just me and SJ hanging out, fucking off, the snowstorm, all that shit. You need to have such teamwork in a house, because me being with him, he's not like the girls were. The girls were much more controlled. He's a fucking ball of bullshit that fucks everything up. And I used to give Hannah a little bit of shit because she's always like, I clean up after him 6 times a day. Well, I did not. I cleaned up after him 1 time a day, and it was a fucking shit show. My house was a mess every single day. Bad, little uncomfortable at the end of the night. I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad. But what I was getting at was what it takes for a household to operate is a good woman and a good man. And you need to understand your roles. And a lot of people have trouble with the crossover in the bullshit of you saying you could do something better in a household, or that male and female struggle. And I think it's absolute dog shit, because today in society, men can be women and women can be men and all that, and how they feel and how they think and all this wonderful stuff. It's I get it. And you can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. But you need to make sure that you have a solid relationship and understanding of the roles of the household. What is your role in your household? And then not fucking discourage, cause any rift with that person's role. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think there's too much of it, and that's why a lot of animosity occurs in households. What is your role, Bob? Your role at home? Pay for fucking everything. And Kim don't give you no shit about it. Mm-hmm. And Kim's role is to make sure that the house is in order and everything that you guys do together is prepared and ready for you guys to do together, because you run 5 businesses. You're a part owner of 5 different businesses. You work all the fucking time, and you want to do your Ironman. It's a passion in life. So she prepares the home and prepares everything for you to have that life together with you, because without working, you don't have the things you have. And being in a very financially beneficial situation puts you in that position. At no point in time, is there any really, the little tidbits of bitching back and forth, that's marriage, that's fun, because sometimes you just need to fuck with each other to make sure the sex is a little better that day. But that's something that even whenever Hannah came home, I'm like, the roles of our household are very, very, they are right in front of you exactly who is who. Mm-hmm. Hannah's role and my role, they are very distinguishable. Because my role is to be dad, which is the fun guy, which is the one that just comes in, has a good time, lightens the moods up. I make all the money, and Hannah runs the household. I am the authoritator. I make sure that these kids stay in fucking line. If she has to break out that fucking stick, you guys fucked up. And I am supporting her 100%. No matter what the fuck occurred, she's right, you're wrong. I think having distinguishable roles in a house is very important. And I think a lot of people are afraid to have certain roles.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have the utmost respect for what Kim does for our household. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we've never had a like, oh, I'm working so much, I'm supporting this. Like, I don't ever use that card at all with what we do, because the things that she does that are done so well and prepared every single day, that gives me high levels of stress. I cannot handle those things mentally, physically. I think I used to be able to handle it a lot better till like we're fully invested here. But
do you think it's a level of respect? Like, do you I may have been not getting this point across very well through this conversation. Like, in society, I feel that people have problem with roles and identity crises. They have personal identity crisis with a role in a household.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, like not feeling, like not getting fulfillment out of like Kim's role right now, because like especially Kim, like she was a nurse practitioner, she had this big career that she worked her whole life for, but it is a better situation for us, for me to be working and spending all the time, and her taking care of our life.
Sure.
So like.
Well,
I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to get across here.
I mean, this is a topic. I say that the roles of people in life and what they're constantly searching for. But I think like I had a shitty life before Hannah. Mm-hmm. It was rough. Yeah. I had to be mom and dad. Yeah. I had to be both. Mm-hmm. And like, how do I want to put this? People need to make sure, in order to have I
mean, you're a team. I mean, that at the end of the day, right? Like when you establish roles, like people can't do, like in a position, like you can't run everything. That's why you have employees, right?
Sure.
So it's when you're a team and you have a male and a female, you each have your own roles, or whoever your significant other is, you have duties that you do to make time for other things that you have to do.
I think you have a different appreciation for the separate roles because you had to do both for so long.
That's what I'm trying to get across, because not enough people respect the other person. Like, you know how whenever you see on TikTok or you see on Instagram how this woman is this and this man is, or like having any like role over top of the other person.
Right. They feel like they can do it better.
Yeah, no.
You can't.
No, don't do that.
No.
And I think that's all I'm trying to get across, is the respect that's needed for each person in the household. Mm-hmm. Because I may have said that, you know, I didn't say it, but I thought SJ wasn't as bad as he is, and he is. He's fucking horrible. He's so bad. But because the girls were not like him. But it's one thing that, and it goes in, like you said, was a good point with the business. Like, marketing has respect for sales. Sales has respect for customer service. Customer service has respect for shipping. If you don't respect everybody's fucking role at a company, it won't operate the same. No. And there needs to be leadership, and there needs to be understanding, because at the same time, as owners, we have to put our trust into our managers. Like, who am I to say that, like, oh, yeah, like if an employee tries to undercut a manager and go to ownership and say the manager's a fucking piece of shit, and then it turns out the employee's a fucking piece of shit trying to say the manager's a piece of shit, then we're like, oh, boy, this is how it works. It's just those things that take time and understanding to work through, and happens in households, too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what fucking gender you are. If you're a male and your wife's a fucking breadwinner and makes $1 million a year, or a lot of guys are like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll vacuum this floor, clean these dishes. I'll even wear a fucking Speedo. I'll put dick tassel on and spin that bitch around. Like, you just have to, everybody has roles in life. It's a great thing, and I don't like to undermine people for the hard work that they do.
For sure.
Yeah.
And there's ways to, like, take advantage of that role and get better at that role, and also scale yourself or grow into a different role.
And that's something hard, too, is growth. In any position. Like, you know, you weren't the same person you were 5 years ago. I'm not the same guy I was 5 years ago. having growth in life. And one thing that is difficult being on the internet, seeing it like, dude, think about it. We invented pump covers. Like, we coined that phrase. Like,
It's trademarked.
yes. And now it's like everywhere, everybody's saying it. And I'm like, you guys, like, I've been on the internet, I guess, for 6 fucking years, like, pretty hard now, since 16. And I'm like, man, that's been a while. And people, the evolution of who you become. And it opens up that box of criticism, judgment, and to be like, you said this 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago, bud. What were you doing 4 years ago? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and the thing is whenever you put it out there online, people are able to criticize things that you said or did so many years ago. And it's like, you understand, like, you evolve and you work through, and you if you're not evolving, if you're the same motherfucker you were 4 years ago, I don't want to fuck with you. Like, that means you are literally stagnant in life and you are not thinking differently, evolving as a person. Did you level up in life? And if you didn't, that's fine too. But I'll tell you this, I don't like fucking with people that ain't leveling up. They're not pushing. Like, I just don't fuck with it.
Yeah. It's like the Twitter shit too. Like, somebody, like, who was the guy that was replacing the Jeopardy? And the guy for he was like the executive producer or something.
The guy that chose himself, the executive producer
chose
that chose himself to be the lead guy.
And then somebody fucking went on Twitter, pulled a tweet from like 10 years ago, found it, and then fucking got him. I mean, is he the same person he was 10 years ago? Probably not. He probably thinks a little bit differently, but that's just shit you can't fucking say. You know?
Yeah. I mean, he chose himself to be the lead on Jeopardy.
Yeah,
you do that. That's a little bit of a fucking
he's
move.
a fucking douchebag.
Aaron Rodgers should be doing Jeopardy anyway. Huge Aaron Rodgers fan.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Fuck. All good, Tristan?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. He's a quiet one over there.
Yeah. Not usual, I think.
It's hard for me to keep up with your conversations. I can listen to it, but I'm a big boy. But you guys are older than me and wiser, been through some more stuff, so I don't need to chime in. I'm only 24.
Oh, you're absorbing.
I'm learning. Yes.
Yeah, learning.
You know, that is another thing, is that being a little bit older, you are wiser.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, just choosing, like the threshold thing we were just discussing with Mike. Like, there's certain thresholds in life that when you're young, you just fucking push that limit. Like, you're just pushing it. And then, like, as you got older, you're like, man, that's a limit that ain't worth pushing. I'm fixing that at 50%, not 75%. If I got to 75%, I think I might have a fucking heart attack. You know, like pushing the limit on anything, vehicles, like even the buttons of your wife. You're like, I know what button to push and how far to push it. I'm not pushing that one because I remember that years ago.
Yep.
Like, there's just certain things you don't do.
And it's also learning your value. I was talking to you about it on, when was that, Monday? When I called you and we were talking about just people doing work for us. And I'm like, yeah, I remember interviewing with Mike and Pat fucking three years ago. And they go, hey, how much do you want to start at? Like, what's your number? And I fucking told him my number. And, oh, my God, was that way off.
He's like, I'm surprised they didn't laugh me out of the building.
I'm surprised they even offered me a fucking job after that.
Well, that's another thing that a lot of young people get misconstrued, and they think because they went to college and they have a degree that they're worth $80,000 a year. And it's like, excuse me, but if you make $80,000 a year, you're doing very well for yourself. You have experience and you have input. You're not just a grunt. And it's understanding your value, because I had that misconception too. And it's crazy because if I look back whenever I was 22 years old, like, I'm 22 years old. I just had a kid graduating college, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to come out making like 65, 70 grand a year. I got out of school making 41.5. And I'm like, and that was a good position. College educated, and, doing all this. And I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a lot rougher than I thought. And you have to understand, because in college, everything's inflated. In today's day and age, 20 fucking years later, I'm like, these kids, fuck, they're in trouble. And then we were talking about, like, the business mind that Shane went to school for business, believe it or not. So,
Yeah.
Went to school
just to get through college,
Went to school for business and then gets hired here for video work, and then sucks at it. And then we put him into different roles, managing people, when he was even worse at managing people.
Awful.
But we needed people, so then he all of a sudden became like, I don't know, whatever you are. But the amount of business that he has learned in the past 2 years in comparison to school is like fucking astronomical. Like now I completely understand how people were like, no, you need to be this dude's fucking shadow for 3 years. Be his bitch, get his coffee, literally stand next to him for fucking pennies. And you will learn more about business than you will ever at a 4-year degree. And that is 100% right.
Very true.
Like, now I understand. Remember whenever you would hear, like, oh, like, this dude's P. Diddy's bitch. He gets his coffee, gets his laundry, does all this. It's like, yeah, if you did that for 5 fucking years and got paid pennies, but ran the relationships and what you learned every single day for those 5 years will be irreplaceable. You will be fucking somebody. And it just goes to show you the fucking knowledge that he has absorbed from the 4 of us over the past 3 years is unbelievable.
Yep. You know, you even notice it, like, in college. Like, you know, you just had, like, those certain professors that were, like, they did have their shit together. They did have real life experience. Like, I had an accounting, he was an accounting professor that he owned several businesses his entire life. Sold the businesses. The dude loves accounting. Went to become a professor and
cashed out
teach
and wanted to teach.
Dude, his real, like, that one course, one semester with him was more than any other accounting course I ever took in college.
Is that not wild?
Because he taught us through life experience, not through a textbook and through a calculation. It was all, like, based on his business. Like, he'd pull up his business from, like, 2001. And he'd break everything down. Like, look, this is what this happened. Here, inventory, we couldn't get inventory for 30 days. Like, going through all this shit. And I'm like, fuck, and then he would talk about the personal side of how he felt during these times.
Oh, man.
I was financially crushed by this. I came back and did this. And I'm like, this dude just told me the ups and downs of his career. And it happened like 3 times. Like, had money, lost it all. Had money, lost it all. And then sold it all at the end, and like now was like this. It was just a really cool experience to see that.
That is, I mean,
they're rare.
Yeah,
it's a rare. I think a rarity to have a professor that has so much experience.
But you're right. They are far and few in between. But I mean, that dude was like he genuinely, I believe, wanted to help.
For sure. Yeah.
He's like, I sold my businesses. I can get paid to teach and actually teach young kids and have an impact. Real motherfucker right there.
Yep. Real passion behind it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good point that you bring up. I think having this podcast, the fucking millions of fucking downloads we've had on this podcast is based upon people wanting to level up in life. And it's having a respect because, you know, I think I don't try to sound smarter than I am. Neither do you. We talk in a very rudimentary way of thinking. For sure. We're very open, very vulnerable in this. But understand this, like, when push comes to shove, like, if you're not willing to be a fucking killer, you will not make it in business. And there are a lot of people out there that think they are and think they are very good at business, but at the end of the day, they just like to look cool. And it's cool to look cool too. Like a lot of, I mean, I don't like judging people for what they want to do, but you got to remember in business is fucking ruthless. And it does not matter whether you're in the fitness, supplements, car parts, fucking widgets, whatever the fuck you're in, business is business. And it is a ruthless place because you'll come across people that don't give a flying fuck. And they're willing to cut their own kids' hearts out and sell it if it puts them ahead of you. That's reality of the world.
Yeah, and that's why podcasts are around. That's why they're so big. Like whether it's our podcast, Joe Rogan's, Andy Frisella's, any business-minded podcast that gains experience, all about perspective. And that's how people learn and grow and see different views, that they look at things one way where this other guy looks at something completely different. So they can do what they want with their opinions and form their own solutions.
I feel like I'm only 33 years old. If I didn't...
That's funny.
If I didn't have, like, you, Mike, and Pat, even, like, you're 36, right?
37.
37, Mike's 37.
Yeah.
Pat's 46.
Yeah.
So just between, like, being able to grow these businesses with you guys, even if we're doing things for the first time together, like Pat has his wisdom from over the years, Mike has his wisdom from the marketing and graphic side of things, like running it personally. You just having like life experience over me, having 2 kids at the time, and like all things that I was never really surrounded with. I couldn't imagine trying to grow into what I am right now just with my knowledge base. Like I feel like I jumped ahead years just being in business with you guys for the last couple of years.
I agree.
Because you can't, where else am I going to gain the knowledge that Pat has or Mike or you?
What you just explained is so valuable because it's respect for one another.
Yeah.
Like whenever I'll never forget when you were like, Seth, I have to handle these things. And I'm like, why, Bob? And this is in the very beginning, like 16, 17.
Yeah.
You're like, because you're a little fucking too intimidating and you get a little too fucking worked up. You're a little much for people to handle. You're a bit much for me to handle, but I know you come from a good place. People don't know that about you.
Yeah.
Because at the time in 17, I was literally willing to kill motherfuckers.
Yep.
Like my life was not cool. Like it was not okay. There were motherfuckers trying to fuck my shit up, and I had it out for them. I had no problem if something happened slitting a motherfucker's throat. Zero problem with it.
Yep.
And you're like, you can't handle these things because these people are just doing business and you think they're coming after you personally. They're not. And I'm like, all right. I trust you, Bob. And you're like,
and you'd be like, and if they give you any fucking shit, you fucking tell me.
So then I'm getting there.
That sounds like out of a movie.
So then Bob would be like, I'm like, all right, Bob, that's cool. But I want to know every motherfucker that we're talking to. So then we get this new people. Bob lines up the phone call, and usually it's me, and I'm letting Bob take over this role because he's like, this needs to happen. You can't do this anymore. I'm like, I trust you. You're calm, cool, collected. So then we get on this fucking 3-way phone call, and Bob would be talking and be like, all right, now I'm gonna end this call with one thing. If I'm calling you, it's a bad fucking day for you. Because if you pissed Bob off, he's the calmest, coolest, most collected person I know. But if you piss Bob off and you're getting a phone call from me, you fucked up and I'm coming for you. This was every business call.
Every single one.
And Bob's like, you kind of can't say that, but it really sets the fucking tone because if I have to get involved, you pissed off the one person that is the calmest, coolest, collected person I know. And if you pissed him off, you fucked up bad because Bob doesn't get worked up about nothing. I only had to call like 2 people.
Yep. And they fucking knew.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
They knew it. It's not like that was the first and last time they heard that. I would reinforce this. Anytime I had to, I'd be like, hey, you know, like, you don't want to hear from Seth.
I'm going
like,
to...
he wants to talk to you, and I'm telling him, no, he's not allowed to talk to you.
I would lose my shit at least once every 10 to 14 days. And Bob's like, dude, I got this. It's cool.
Yeah.
You seem a little worked up, Bob.
Yep.
The guys answer the phone from Seth and go, how's Bob?
Oh, dude.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
I'd be like, hey, I handle it very calm and cool, but I'm like, do you understand, like, how much... Because... I genuinely never want to fuck anybody's life up. I want people to make money. That's been our deal since day one. Fair business. Bro, fair business is the best business. Because then you make money, we make money, everybody's making money. That means that your fucking wife's happy. Your wife's happy, your kids are happy, you get to save for vacations. We get to talk about you fucking under waterfalls. We get all kind of cool shit. That's been my MO since day one. You fuck that up, I am going to lose my shit because I literally set this up for you to make money. Could we undercut people at times? Fuck yeah, we could. We could apply pressure whenever we needed to, and can they apply pressure to us? Abso-fucking-lutely, but I don't want to do that. I want a fair deal so that whenever we talk or get together for a dinner, we don't have to fucking have this like little anxiety there. No, bro, fuck yeah, we killed business this year. What'd you get your wife for Christmas? Did you go somewhere cool? Did you do something? Yeah, we went to Aspen, got the fucking suite. It was awesome. Blew me right in the fucking ski lodge. It was awesome. Nice, cool. Like, I want those stories. I don't want, like, the animosity or the fucking, that tension because we had a bad business thing. No. Don't fuck that up for me. because I watched it occur. My dad was a small business owner for 45 fucking years. So I watched all these things occur. I watched fucking things fall apart. I watched how hard he had to do things. So whenever we got into business, I'm like, fair business, Bob. And then that's the whole thing, because at the time I was a little bit of a fucking savage. My wife was out fucking doing all kind of bad shit, and I had to protect my fucking kids and make sure nothing fell apart. Meanwhile, like, it was really bad and ugly, and I had a very, very intense way of looking at the world. And Bob, as the gentle giant soul that he is, kind of brought me back to reality and said, not everybody's like this. And I'm like, no, they fucking are, Bob. And he's like, no, they're not. They're not. But I'm like, the fucking world's fucked up. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yes, I understand that. That's why you exist. Yep. You come in at times of need. Mm-hmm. Sounds good. But but at the end of the day, it boils down to having respect for everyone in their respective positions. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if somebody says something or wants something from you, you live up to your end of the bargain. And if you don't, expect a fucking phone call. Like, if I fuck up, I got no problem being like, I fucked up. Yeah. Like, that's something as a young man that, like, you're going to have to learn. You know how you learn? Fucking up.
I had a lot of that.
Exactly. Then there's no other way. And when you look back upon it, like, that's the whole fucking, you smoke too much weed and all of a sudden you start thinking about shit you did when you were 10 years old. And you're like, I can't believe I made it through that. Can you believe I almost pissed my pants on the bus? I was the only person that knew about it. Like, it's things that and things that just resonate with us, and I think those are things that we need to keep in the back of our minds to continue us being good motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It was a wild time in 17. Wow, 17 was probably 16, 17. Those were the two wildest years of my life. And it wasn't that long ago to think about it.
That time period felt a lot longer than the last 5 years.
Bro, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Like,
like there was a year or two that literally it felt like 5 years, 6 years.
It was at 16 and 17 because we were broke as fuck, had no money.
I always remembered it feeling like that in the wintertime. Like after Christmas through like before spring would hit. Like I just felt like it was super tough. It was long days, long nights.
It was ignorant.
A lot of bullshit.
And that's crazy because it's not that long ago, and I had a whole different life.
It's crazy what I thought were problems then and what are problems now.
Yeah.
It's quite different.
I had a completely different way of looking at the world.
Yeah.
And you have to be a savage in this world. Mm-hmm. And that's another point that you brought up about the four of us, mm-hmm. Each one of us bringing something to the table. If push comes to shove, and people fuck with the people that mean good in the world, you need ugly motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And I was that ugly motherfucker. Now, being a little bit wiser, like there's ways to handle things, even that threshold doesn't need to get pushed that far to get to that point. Mm-hmm. You control to that threshold.
Yeah.
Because without you and the way you thought and the way you said that in 16, 17, I don't know if we'd be in this position because of the way I handled things. Mm-hmm. It was a little intense. It was a little much. A little too over the top. Mm-hmm. It came from a good place, like you said. Like, it all comes from a good place, but it doesn't come off that way, bud.
Delivery's just a little intense.
Little off. You don't need to be talking to people that way. But, and that's why having a business partner and different perspective on life is important.
Yeah.
And just having respect for one another. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a lost thing today.
Yeah. I think it's just a rarity in general, like owning a business with 3 other people.
And it's not to say that we don't have our own internal problems that we have to work through because of growth, mm-hmm. and everybody grows at different points in different ways. Mm-hmm. But life in the fucking fast lane, dude. It's what it is. Good piece of advice that I just got. So I was on the phone with Joe Whitman. Mm-hmm. He has the coffee and does other parts of the business and just a great wealth of information and has great relationships with all kinds of people throughout the country for hunting, bird dogs, everything. Awesome. But I was asking him, like, bro, you're a pretty calm, collected motherfucker. And he's like, yeah, because I was telling you the other day, the conversation, he was smooth as butter, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have really good mentors in life. And he's a young guy, he's my age. And he's like, I have really good mentors. I'm like, that's awesome. And he's like, an older gentleman told me one time, stay between 40 and 70. I'm like, what do you mean by that? He's like, never go faster than 70 and never go less than 40. And I'm like, oh boy, it's a great piece of information.
Yeah.
Because I like to live life going 110 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But he's like, but when you go $110, you get a little out of control. And eventually you got to slow down, like significantly, or you crash. And I'm like, that's kind of the fun part of it. But the way he looked at it and his success, because he is a very successful man, and he had said that, and I'm like, that is a great thing that I think a lot of people can grab a lot of information from.
Yeah.
Because when you go 40 miles an hour, you could feel like everybody's going faster, whizzing by you, going this. But remember, you're efficient, and going 40 is a good thing for you right now because you're still going at a great rate. And when you're going 70 miles an hour, you're still safe. You're still controlled to some degree, and you're going past a lot of other motherfuckers.
There's some points that I'm well over 70.
Well, I told him because he knows that we are doing incredibly well here, and I was like, last year we were living life in the fast lane. And I was like, that's one of the reasons I'm calling you, because I want to slow down a little bit and go do some cool shit that I have on my bucket list, and those are hunting trips and fishing trips and doing things that I bring tradition into my household. Because all the tradition that I have in my household is work. I grew up with my dad, work. And I have a son now that I'd love to pass tradition on to, and he is a junior. You know, if I'm a grandfather and I'm alive and there's a Seth Gregory Feroce III, I'm going to be like, fuck yeah, it's better be your fourth too, bitch. But I want tradition in my family that I would like to start with me. And it not be work, it just be, doing extravagant things that I don't know, hold a value that money can't buy. Because whenever one thing that is the wilderness that I love, and the more I watch and reading is pretty cool, by the way. I started reading more about like trips, extravagant adventures.
Yeah.
It's making me feel way better, but and it's similar to the Ironman thing. The road or the bike and all that, it doesn't give a fuck how much money you have. Whenever you're up against the wilderness, it doesn't matter if you make $1 million or make fucking $20 an hour, if you own a business or not. Like, it does not fucking matter out there. It has no bearing. And that's kind of what I want to experience. And yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, though. I'm chasing the same thing. I can pretty much go buy whatever I want.
Yeah.
It's not what I want, though. I want to compete with the best. That's what I want.
And it's something that there's no other way to go get these things other than doing them.
No.
And there's no easy way to attain it.
No, there's no easy way of doing this at all. I mean, my world kind of was rocked the other day with how my training's going and where I'm at as an athlete. I'm not... A lot of these people that I train with, they are elite, like very elite.
Yes.
And to the point that they're winning races or they're professionals already. I can't come into the top 10 in these virtual races with them on Tuesdays.
Man.
I can't break top 10. I come in 13th week after week. It's 13th. It's the same every week. And every week I'm 20, 25 watts better. And I can't even come close to them.
Wow.
Big difference, them weighing $130, $140, me being 190. But they're throwing down similar power to me as well.
Oh, boy.
So, like, some of the guys, they're not throwing down serious power, but they're super light, so that puts them ahead big time. And then there's other guys that are a little bit heavier, but throwing down way more power than me. They're number 1 and number 2.
Can I ask a question in the middle of this?
Yeah.
Is their maturity level much higher than yours per the sport? Like you've been doing this a year and 2 years.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 outliers that last year was their first year in triathlon.
What did they do before this, though?
The one guy, exceptional, like collegiate, maybe even above collegiate swimmer.
Okay. Is he younger then?
Yeah.
Okay.
All these guys as well, they're 18 to 24.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Bob.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off then.
I know, but still, like that.
I get it. You're right. No, keep going.
You know, so this is the number that I look at.
Yeah.
And you guys don't have to understand this number, but like it'll show you.
Gotta say it. Let's go.
So most of these guys that are finishing in that top 5 on these races on Tuesdays, there's a weight to power ratio. So they're pushing out 4 kg per watt.
4 kg per watt. Okay.
So mine is like at my peak, which is like throwing down like some serious power, might be that same hold for duration is like 3 something.
Okay.
But for that 3 to 4 difference is huge. It's an effort like between it's a red line heart rate, all out effort for me to even get on their heels. Where they're like 80%.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But yeah, it was a wild, like, because I was like disappointed with a placing, and like I'm talking to my coach, and she's like, "Hey, she's like, you're racing right now." She's like, 2 of these guys are literally the number 1 and number 2 amateurs in the world. I'm like, I know. I was like, I can't fucking catch.
You're in such an elite category with this coach that you're in with this coach that is literally looking at you as like, this is my workhorse.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine that's how she's viewing you. She's like, look at this fucking 33-year-old man who's finally into it and found his thing. And she's like, I can literally tell this guy to eat dog shit and ride the bike for 17 hours, and he'll be like, "Oh, that's what it takes." That sounds great.
Yep.
Because that was a similar person with me with Hani.
For sure.
You know, so it's like, and I think as a coach, you look for people like that because you're like, this is why I coach. Mm-hmm. I coach for moments like this with a person because the fulfillment she gets from you and your fulfillment of doing better, bro, it's unmatchable.
Yeah.
That's why you're a coach. That's why people teach. Whenever that one student out of fucking 100 kids, like, I got one, fuck yeah. And with you, you don't mind the work. Mm-hmm. Because don't get it twisted that every single athlete that she has takes a certain amount of work. Mm-hmm. And she looks at you as, I just have to keep encouraging him to do a good job.
Yep.
That's all she has to do. And she's encouraging by discouraging. Like a Hani.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean? Like, doesn't tell you good job very often, but it's like the encouragement of being better is, it's what they live for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's such a cool experience because, I mean, these guys are the elite of our group, and then there's like the pro, like the top 5 pros in the world are like on a completely different level, like completely different level.
I'll say this: it's I'll take the approach of being the pro. Okay, whenever like people right now, like that YouTube video, Functional and Fuckable, caught fire. Okay, and a lot of these young guys are like, this fucking dude's still on the sauce. Look at this fucking guy, he's on the sauce. And I'm like, yes, I am. I was like, I take 200 milligrams of testosterone a week. Okay, it's pharmaceutical grade, it's way better. But what you guys don't understand is that I am literally one of the most genetically gifted people when it comes to bodybuilding. I was built for this fucking sport. I trained from the time, like intense, hardcore training, from the time I was 15 until today. Bitch, that's 22 fucking years of intense training. Since I was 20 years old, I started taking gear when I turned 20 years old. Like, I was taking steroids for fucking 15 years pretty intensely. Like, a lot. Like, my body is just this. So whenever I apply everything to fall into place, the food, the hydration, the supplementation, the proper use of hormones, and everything hits on all cylinders, bitch, I'm on another level. And it's kind of like, I'm 212 pounds. There are fucking, the 212 bodybuilders, if they came in here right now, if you saw a 212 competitor, they'd come in here at like 240 pounds and you're like, oh, bitch. oh, bitch, you are not that guy.
Right.
But it's, I know, like, on a level, like, if I was to do those things, I know I would be in an elite category. Mm-hmm. But it's that thing of just understanding, like, genetic gifts as well.
Yeah.
And whenever you're genetically gifted and willing to outwork every motherfucker on the planet, mm-hmm. for as long as I did, of course I'm going to have a certain look. But what I do notice is I am not the motherfucker I used to be. There is a window, and that window is about shut on me. Mm-hmm. Because I can't hang. And with you where you're at, it's like you're looking at the professionals striving like, I can do that. Mm-hmm. As I was with Hani in my early 20s, I was like, I can do that. And it's just that mentality of putting in the work. Because, bro, you're built for it. Mm-hmm. You're already proving it. It's just a matter of time. Because I think that you need a certain level of maturity in your legs.
For sure.
To be able to put out certain things with a lesser amount of food.
Yeah.
Like whenever you stop eating as much as, whenever you need less energy, food, to perform at this same level, I think that's whenever you'll get into that 165 category,
for
170.
Sure. For sure. I mean, just cleaning up what I'm doing now. And I eat pretty clean. I cut out my evening bullshit the last 4 or 5 nights. I'm down another 7 pounds.
That's a lot, too.
Dude, that's a tremendous amount. So that's something we came to the realization, too, is as my weight drops, I need to decrease the food, believe it or not, because then my body only needs so much to put out the same effort.
You need to find out that what food equals what effort,
yeah.
and literally minimize it,
right.
but maximize the effort.
Exactly.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
That's not fun. That's dieting while training really, really, really hard.
Right. When you just crave everything under the fucking sun. But it was cool. You know, we set a plan because she knows I want to chase these top guys. And she's like, right now, she's like, we are going to try to get you as strong as fucking possible. She's like, and we hope that the weight creeps down as we're building your strength. We meet somewhere in the middle. And she's like, you might be right on the heels of these guys. And then she's like, look at any pro. They get smaller and smaller every year.
I believe it.
Like Lionel, like 5 years ago, what he looks like now is insane. He looks older, even though he's about my age. But she's like, you will gradually take this weight off. She's like, if this is your thing, she's like, if this is who you are, she's like, that's what you'll become. And,
oh yeah, and I think that's I mean, it's very, very, very unique.
Super unique.
I'd probably put Ironman in a more unique category than just about any other sport, if you want to call it that, because it is fucking just, it is a place that not people want to dip their toe in and be like, yeah, I'll do one, and then like do like a half an Ironman, and you're like, fuck yeah, but that was like their life goal, and they're like, I'm cool after that. Like I did one, and that's great. You're like, no, I'd like to do multiple a year for maybe many years to come. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, man.
But it's. But again, that's what makes life cool. That's why the internet's so fun, because you're able to see all these people do these things. And that's what's cool about the challenge and me putting myself back out there on the internet and having young kids be like, this. And I'm like, man, you guys, like, there's a new generation of people watching the internet that have no clue who I am. They got no clue how transparent I am with anything that I've done. And I'm like, this is unique. You guys need to go back and watch some of my old videos. Like, go watch some old shit.
Yeah.
And that's why the internet is so cool, because you get to see people do incredible things that otherwise you wouldn't ever know about. Mm-hmm. Never.
No, I mean, and I think that's why, like, bodybuilding and triathlon, it's why it's even on the map, because of the internet.
Absolutely.
You know, back in the day, it was because of the magazines with bodybuilding, you know?
Yeah.
And it just being a sheer, like fucking thrill just to see like an Arnold or a Jay Cutler. You know, same with triathlon. It's not spoken of often. Like not many people do it.
No, nobody wants to do it because it sucks.
But now, like the last couple of years, it's growing like fucking crazy.
Really?
It really is. And it's because it's more accessible.
Yeah, accessible.
You can track it. You know, more live streaming, because not a lot of stations are going to pick it up.
Do you think that because of COVID, people started doing endurance trainings.
For sure.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They didn't need a gym. They didn't have to go buy a treadmill. All they needed was a pair of running shoes, and they could go do almost any of this.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah,
There was a huge spike. I read an article. There's an app called Strava. It's like a running community app. So all your shit gets uploaded. You get badges. You can share things with other runners. You can create a group.
Sure.
There was a huge spike with that and
Really?
Swift, the cycling, right when COVID hit. Because everyone's like, I need something to do.
They need outlets.
I can still connect with people while I'm doing it. And it's huge.
Man, it's crazy.
I think social media just amplified everything. I finally watched the Alpinist last night.
I didn't watch it yet.
I haven't either.
Pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, it's really, really cool. Completely different than 14 Peaks. It's just about that guy from Canada that just climbs rock faces, and how social media has amplified free climbing, like solo climbing,
Dude,
no rope or nothing. That's
you're
scary
out of
as
your
shit.
Fucking mind. That's that thing that I bring it up every time about bodybuilding and pushing limits and just living for death, or like you're pushing the threshold of death. It's exciting. It is something that's very unique, and that shit there is fucking.
And it's
Could
similar.
you imagine falling to your death? I couldn't, dude. I could not. I could not climb something. I mean, I never climbed, so I don't really understand it. But I could not imagine being on the top of something and literally falling to my death and being like, "Man, this is a really bad decision."
Because you do have a second to think about it.
Yeah, what do you think
You're
about?
like, fuck. You're like, God, I knew I shouldn't have fucking done this.
Damn
I
it,
should have used a rope, motherfucker. Or a
Yeah,
parachute.
what am I trying to
bro! My
prove?
palms are soaking wet right now.
You're like, look, God, watch me climb this without a rope. And they're like, he's like, damn it, another one. What are you guys doing?
Dude, some of them climb with parachutes on their back, which is smart, which is fine, but most of them don't. They're just climbing with chalk.
Dude, even so, like have the perfect fall and be able to pull the chute. I mean, I know a lot about chutes now from Josh, but
So part of the Alpinist is like, okay, you climb rock faces, right? But the other element is ice climbing, like when you climb frozen waterfalls.
Yeah,
That shit's fucking nuts.
dude. I know. I watch a trailer and I'm like, "Oh, they're climbing ice."
I
What a good
get
idea.
it though. I totally get it.
Oh,
Dude, triathlon scares me. It scares the shit out of me, and it's why I want to do it. Like, I want to, like, the things that scare me the most, I want to continuously.
push the threshold,
Bro, I feel it every morning. Every single morning before my workout, I get those butterflies. Like, I'm like that feeling in elementary school when I had to run the mile run, fat kid. Anxiety, stressing out. Oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. I'm going to feel like dying. Every morning. And then I beat my ass, and it feels awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I think that I think it's important for people to do physical things. It's good for everything in the body. I was at Andrew Uberman. Did you ever see anything from him? He's I think he's a neurologist. He's everywhere right now. He's a big sleep guy. Talks about sleep and gives out great information. He was on More Plates, More Dates, Mark Bell. He did all these different podcasts and interviews and things like that. Super smart guy. But and I follow him on Instagram, and he was putting out like 10 things to add to your sleep or to do to get better sleep at night. And I'm like, oh, this is, it's great because I'm into it. And I'm like, I do the majority of these things without having to be told. But then I'm like, I'm very experienced with working out and the importance of recovery. And just these are like secondhand knowledge things that I believe this is him like, this is just him every day, like everything's. But a lot of people don't understand this because I get the I forget how, I hate using it, normal people do. Like normal people don't work out all the time. They don't. And then when it comes to sleep, they're bad at it because they did not exhaust their bodies physically. And for me, the number one thing to do to get better sleep is to work out. Physically exhaust yourself. You physically exhaust yourself, usually you have no problem falling the fuck asleep. If you find out, like, if you eat well, a well-balanced diet, and you physically exhaust yourself every day, and you're hydrated, you shouldn't have much problem sleeping. Where it comes in for me, because I'm well hydrated, I physically exhaust myself almost every single day, and then I eat well. Stress, I believe, is the killer of a lot of things. Shitty food and stress. You eat shitty food and you're stressed out, you will have problems in every other aspect of your life. Sleeping, sex, everything. It will not be as good as it possibly could. I believe the physicality of life and eating healthy will like, it serves a purpose in all aspects of life.
100%.
Because he had this post yesterday. I'm like, man, these are pretty good points that a lot of regular people don't do. But I'm like, the one thing that wasn't on that list was physically beating the ever-loving fuck out of yourself. You do cardio every single morning. You wake up 45 minutes earlier. You do 30 minutes of cardio and then start your day. Everything changes. Every single fucking thing in your life will change. Guaranteed. I do not want to eat any shitty food after I do cardio in the morning.
No, it's like
I never
waste.
No, not even the waste. I don't even have a craving. I'm not even like, oh, I could go for fucking sausage and waffles right now.
No.
I'm like, no, give me something light. I'm going to drink coffee. Might pork the old lady and fucking shower and get the fuck out of here. Go fuck up shit for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I
crave fruit and a shake as soon as I get done training in the morning. That's all I do for at least 2 hours. Fruit, shake.
That's another topic we were talking about here. So with all these, the fucking Liver King, he's like the biggest thing on the internet. I think he's a complete facade, by the way. I don't know. He seems like a cult leader. I don't know what he is.
He's unique.
He's unique. Now I understand the concept, but I just don't like the cultiness of it all. Because the nose to tail thing, I agree with. It's great. I don't think that our ancestors ate liver like he eats liver. That's a lot of liver. But I do think it's important to eat those things. And but the Carnivore MD, that Paul Saladino, those not many people know this, but they're business partners. They own each other's companies, and they almost speak exactly the same. But because I understand this because I'm big on like that paleo diet, eat like a caveman. How long I've been saying that?
Yep.
Been fucking years. And it's like, okay, so if you just eat good foods, quality foods, you'll be good. But in bodybuilding, you're like, I'm going to eat excessive amounts of everything and get fucking massive. But I think that certain foods fuck with my belly that I didn't think fucked with my belly before. Like certain vegetables. Like if I eat too much broccoli, no good. Bell peppers we were talking about, no good.
Dude, brutal.
It's wild how it does that.
Yeah, they do not. If they're uncooked, it's really bad.
Yes.
Cooked, it's still bad.
So that Paul Saladino, he's a fucking piece of work. He's in the grocery stores calling things bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. And I'm like, it's pretty comical, but everything's bullshit that he doesn't like. But there is some validity to it because he is I can't remember. He says what he is, like double board certified medical doctor. And he's big into the same shit Liver King is. Like he's real Liver King without the fucking steroids. His Liver King says he doesn't do steroids, but I'm like, I don't know.
Fucking jam, dude.
You're you like growth hormone just like me, bud. You can admit it. It's fine. But big thing was fruits and meats and organs. And I'm like, pretty solid basis there. But whenever you're putting out a certain amount of energy or training for things, carbohydrates play a huge role. And I think that it was just like, I mean, the way I look at it, rather than call everything bullshit or like have this negative connotation with everything, it's like, just take time to eat the foods that you find out that agree with you.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Like if you eat something that doesn't agree with you, don't fucking eat it. Or if you end up having problems down the road and you're like, man, what could have caused this problem? And you look back and been like, all that shit I did. Cool concept. Because I noticed that like whenever I eat less carbohydrates and have more fruits, the veggies that agree with me, and meats, I feel pretty good. So I mean, their concepts and I wouldn't call them theories because they're in practicality as well, are very good. The carnivore diet is real, but it's not for everybody. Like, it's not a good idea to eat just meat.
Yeah.
I think there's other things out there that you need to also consume for your body to operate properly.
Yeah, and I've been getting a lot of DMs and seeing a lot of questions like in the Facebook group. Now that the challenge has started and everything, and this process is just so new to so many people, and I'm seeing like a lot of mistakes or a lot of misconceptions with food, and it's awesome. People are chiming in and literally giving the knowledge
Educating.
that I hope they would, without us even having to chime in, which is great. It means
It's how
there's
it's supposed
some-
to be.
Yeah,
Reason.
but it's like the quality of foods plays such a huge role. Like, for instance, I eat a ton of carbohydrates. I need to.
Yes.
I eat a ton of cereal at night. I did that for 4 nights in a row. Or the last 4 nights, I did not eat the servings of cereal. I had oatmeal the one night. I had some fruit the one night before bed. And then the last 2 nights, I had nothing. I could feel that my waist was tighter. I wasn't as bloated in my gut. I was like, I guarantee my weight is down, and not just like 2 pounds. It was down 6-7 pounds. And if you look at the macros of what I was eating, so a serving of cereal, a 3/4 cup, 30 carbs, 26 grams of sugar, depending on the cereal, I might have 4 servings of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Do the math, right? It wasn't the carbohydrates that were the problem there. I was utilizing those.
Yeah.
It was the sugar. It was the
quality.
preservatives.
Yes.
It was all the shit that's in there. I ate the same amount in oatmeal one of those nights and had no bloat, had no stomach discomfort. My weight was dropping, still had peak energy, if not more energy, sleeping better. The quality plays a huge role.
And absolutely, you're right. That's that whole quote-unquote regular people thing that I was speaking about.
Yeah.
It's like it's secondhand knowledge for you, me,
Mm-hmm.
and then like how the delivery of like Paul, like, dude's right.
Yeah.
I'm into it. He is right.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that for regular people to understand this and it not feel, because you got to remember, like a culty feeling that the Liver King guy gives off, like it's there.
Yeah.
Like it's like, and he's doing well. It's a marketing team has definitely, there's a marketing team has definitely educated him on how to do things, because that's what this is. It's a marketing ploy. You're going to watch it, how fast things have come. You're going to watch it fall off, and you find out that this guy actually is, he's doing great things, and I love the way he trains. I'm into it because it's very functional. It's awesome, but there's a couple things that just give me the wrong vibe. Makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And usually whenever you feel that way, you're kind of like, I know I'm not like a piece of shit, but I'm getting this vibe that I kind of feel something weird.
Yeah.
So, but you keep things. This is my thing. That's not that I'm saying that he is or anything like it. What he is, in my opinion, is a red flower. And you keep that bitch right where it belongs. You don't welcome it into your house. You keep it right the fuck over there, arm's length distance away where it belongs. And you're like, I'm just going to watch the show because this show's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. So, but I think for regular people to understand, a well-balanced diet is everything.
Yep.
Don't get it twisted. You don't need low carbs, moderate protein, and high fats or anything like that. Eat a well-balanced diet and work out. That's where the chicken and rice thing has come into play for me from years ago. Whenever I was training, I'm like, to get my shit revamped, I just eat chicken and rice every single meal. If I eat chicken and rice every single meal, that's how I would. I know that I operate well. I'd add in a little bit of fruit here and there, and then after 2 weeks of eating just chicken and rice, I'd be able to add in foods that I knew that agree with me or didn't agree with me. It's literally the dumbest fucking science experiment possible for bodybuilders. And with you guys, what you need to understand is you just eat a well-balanced diet. Don't eat a bunch of processed bullshit. The fresher foods that you eat, the better. Mm-hmm. The better quality you eat, the better for your body. But just because, this is where that Paul thing comes in, just because it says plant-based or because it's a vegetable means it's going to agree with you. Some things just don't agree with you. Mm-hmm. That's why it's good to trial so many different things. Like you said, bell peppers, don't agree. I can't eat peppers. Like my belly gets all fucking uncomfortable, bloated, ugly gas. For me, like broccoli, I can eat a little bit of it. If I eat a pound of broccoli, I used to in bodybuilding, oh, bro, I'll be so bloated right now, it's out of control. So guess what? Even though it's healthy, quote unquote, I don't eat a lot of it because it fucks with me. But I also no longer have a love affair with food. You have a love affair with food, that means that there's going to be gluttonous, sexy, sweaty, sloppy moments with food because it's a love affair. You can't have that when it comes to food. Like, it will fuck your body up.
I've abandoned completely. Like, you know, everyone talks about, like, it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a diet, you know, to remove certain things.
Sure.
But, like, little things like people are like, I can't eat 6 chicken and rice meals a day. And I'm thinking, like, you know, why? Like, what's wrong with, like, feeling good and, like, having a very regimented diet? And meanwhile, it's because I completely removed the thought of, like, packing for lunch a ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
That is not even an option for me.
I call that the love affair.
You know, and because not only is the bread processed, but the meat's processed, the cheese is processed.
It's going to make me feel like shit.
It's not the actual macros behind the meal. It's the meal.
People...
You know?
What you just said, I think people don't understand what I talk about whenever I mean, like, your face fucking the day. Mm-hmm. I'm in complete control. Mm-hmm. Your face is my day, and I'm fucking it. Like, it's that ugly thought I have, but I don't think everybody has had that feeling of operating at such a high level with a good night's sleep, fucking fueled with the best possible food, and literally just feeling like unstoppable.
Yeah.
And that is the feeling that I try to attain. That's why the love affair with food is gone. That's why my obsession with work has become so intense, because I'm good at it. Because I'm literally fueled to fuck shit up. That's the feeling that a bunch of people are missing. And there's so many different ways to do it, whether it's the carnivore diet or, you know, your paleo or your, you know, bodybuilder style, whatever it may be. Like, there's different ways to attain that feeling, and however you are attaining it is the goal. Mm-hmm. I don't really care how you fucking do it, but that should be the goal for you, is to feel a way that you just feel almost unstoppable. And you are in control. Because if I'm face fucking my sweet woman, I'm in control. That's the disgusting thought in my head, at least.
It's a very accurate analogy.
Again, it all goes back to my libido, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. It goes right back to it. If I'm eating a food that is bloating me and I planned on laying some fucking lumber, I am not eating that fucking food ever again. Because who wants to be all bloated and fucking fat chin while you're pounding your old lady? I don't. That's the whole functional and fuckable thing. I want to be in such good shape that my dick is fucking going to town. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm in shape. Yeah, here it comes. Look at this. You hear my nuts slapping off of you? Fuck yeah. Yeah, I'm game. Young guys get it. As you get older, you don't got the same dick you used to. So, like, now that I'm older, I'm like, fuck, dude, Hannah's 26 years old. I got to keep the fuck up. I got to fucking stiff dick that bitch. You can't be fucking, no. I got to stay functional and fuckable. I don't want to be all like on top of her. No, absolutely not. I got to be limber. I got to be flexible. I got to be fucking ready.
Always adapting.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And it all goes back to me just having a nice feeling belly. Because if you're all bloated, like, you're like, I don't really want to. You don't want to. No.
You people need to feel that. They need to feel like.
Again, control.
There's a lot of people that go, have never felt good.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to be fucking liver king, or you don't need to fucking do carnivore diet. You need to eat a well-balanced diet. Eliminate the shit. Literally, this is just secondhand knowledge to us, but shopping on the outside of the grocery store has always been like the first step. Like, stop going to the fucking freezer food section. Stop going to the fucking boxes of chips or the boxes of crackers and the chips and all the shit. Stop shopping in that fucking area. You have to go to the grocery store more than one time a week because you got to eat fucking fresh. You got to buy fruits. You got to buy vegetables. You got to buy fucking meats. You got to buy the shit on the outside of the fucking ring in the grocery store. Don't go into the fucking middle. Stay out of that bitch. You go in there into the frozen food section, you're done. You'll be like, oh, look, tater tots. Yes, they're delicious. Don't eat them fucking every day. It's super, super important. And as you do that, you're going to realize that, like, man, this shit doesn't taste like the processed shit. Yeah, because the processed shit is literally crack. That's fucking what it is. It is designed for you to fucking like it. It's designed for you to like it. Everything is drugs, food, tobacco. It's all designed for you to like it. Like, it's hitting certain fucking receptors in you, in your body, that's like, man, I really like these. I love fucking cheese nips. I fucking love them. Like my favorite fucking cracker snack. Guess what? You eat Cheez-Its, they're going to fuck you up. How do I know? Because I eat Cheez-Its a lot. And once I stopped eating Cheez-Its, I'm like, man, I kind of operate way better without them. How do I know I operate better? Because I run 5 fucking businesses and work out like a goddamn animal. That's how I fucking know.
Yep. It is more work. It's more work to shop around the outside, to cook that food. It is. It's more, it's not as convenient. But nothing in a successful life is always convenient.
Yeah.
You know, like, yes, I have to work harder to get the food. I have to work harder. It's because it's going to be a little more expensive. It's going to take longer to prep and cook. It's more work all around.
Do you think that people make, like, I mean, we're talking like, I'm speaking in a very general sense. I'm not a fucking doctor. Mm-hmm. And do you think that people think that they're not smart enough or capable because these people that are speaking about this are speaking in terms that are above them?
Yeah, I would think so.
You know what I mean?
They get
like,
overwhelmed with it.
You get overwhelmed with information, and it's like, hey, slow the fuck down. You don't have to be a doctor to understand this. Mm-hmm. You can be a regular motherfucker and think healthy foods. Okay, fruits, veggies, and meats. Mm-hmm. Cool. Eggs. Are eggs good? That's crazy that are eggs good is a fucking question.
Yeah.
Yes, eat the whole fucking egg. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Just understand that whenever you're eating a ribeye, which is high in animal fat, ribeye, a lot of fat. Whenever you're eating that food and eggs, there's fat in those things. Those are not the killers. Those are not the fucking killers. The killers are refined, processed bullshit. Refined sugars, bullshit. Fuck, I feel like Paul now. Now I get why he has it. I go, jeez, maybe I'm watching too much of him. But it's like, but it is. Refined foods are bullshit. Mm-hmm. You need to understand that you can eat certain foods that are higher in fat if you stay away from the processed shit. If you mix the high-fat foods with the processed shit, then you have problems. That's why you eat fruits, veggies, and fucking meats. Yep. And then the carbohydrates that you eat, I like rice and potatoes. Mm-hmm.
Yep, white potatoes, sweet potatoes, white rice, brown rice.
Any fucking potato. Yep. And guess what? If you're eating a potato and you're like, it doesn't agree with my belly, then don't fucking eat it. Mm-hmm. Simple. You know what I really like is sushi rice.
That's all I eat.
Ever since you brought that up the other day, I'm like, I'm fucking buying some. It's fucking delicious.
It's so much better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little different.
It's almost like a pasta.
Yeah.
It's like thicker, like more of a bite.
Yeah.
Sticky.
Yeah. Did Asians invent sushi rice?
Yeah, because Yeah, I think
originated
in sushi, which is it's like a heritage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being a dick.
Like T-bones and Americans, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Texans.
Texas.
Yeah. Whatever happened to like making fucking like fucked up comments about that, about nationality and race and things like that?
I don't know.
It's funny that it's like it is comical. Like a fucking like I'm okay. Like you look at me and you're like, you're definitely Italian. Like, do you know how you know that I'm Italian? How, Bob?
A lot of features.
Maybe this big giant fucking feature on the middle of my face.
Yep.
You silly wop, big nosed Italian. Like, dude, it's funny. I don't know. Like I miss that in comedy. Mm-hmm. Like comics did it so well, like making fun of white people and black people and fucking every culture under the sun. It's not like it wasn't ever like derogatory towards them to think bad about them. It was just funny that it's true.
No, it was never like a derogatory way of saying it. It was just like an actual real life scenario.
And that's what made it funny. Like, I don't know. I miss it. I miss it in comedy. That was, I guess the reason is because in real life, like, people actually feel that way about people. But in comedy, like, that's what made it.
That's what's funny.
Yeah, it made it enjoyable. Like, you can make fun of Texas. You can make fun of fucking West Virginians. How they fuck their cousins and all that. And they're like, I literally don't fuck my cousin. I'm like, I know, but it's funny. Mm-hmm. No, West Virginia, we don't fuck our cousins. That's them Kentucky people over there. I'm like, oh, okay. Like I don't know.
Same thing about Ohio.
How bad it sucks.
Yeah.
Shane hates Ohio. That is probably the funniest thing on the internet is how much, like, Ohio has literally become the state that people hate the most out of every state in the country.
I love the Barstool question revolving around Ohio. Do you ever,
No.
would you rather have $1 billion or never leave the state of Ohio?
People were like,
Or, I mean, would you take $1 billion to never leave the state of Ohio?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
yeah, no.
No.
I lived in Ohio for a few years.
I'm running a race there this year.
Are you?
Yeah, it's gonna suck.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
going to suck. It's going to be so bad there.
Oh yeah, in Sandusky.
Are you? Nice.
Yeah,
Double bad.
July 31st.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
Nice.
be a hot one.
Yeah. Sandusky's up there off the lake.
Yeah, I saw
good.
that.
Yeah.
It's west of Columbus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived south of Dayton. In the Centerville, West Carrollton area. That's wherever I met. That's when I met Drew, Randy, RD. Those were the guys that like big bodybuilders. Once I graduated college, I went out there, and yeah, trained at Power Station. Power Station is literally one of the coolest gyms in the country.
Was I there with you?
Yeah, that's where we did that event. Remember? We
Oh.
went and did that fucking event with Lobeliner.
Yeah. Okay. Sick
Yeah.
gym.
Yeah, that was the new Power Station. I trained at the old Power Station with Mike. The owner is one of the most fucking savage people on the planet. Straight killer. He will fuck you up. He's an animal. Like he in his gym, like whenever I was training for something, like people would want to talk to me about things, or like people come up. If somebody was talking to another person for too long, like, and that person was training, he would come up to them and be like, leave him the fuck alone. Not like, hey, get away from them. Leave him the fuck alone. He's training. Like, you didn't get caught up in a conversation while you were training at the power station.
Yeah.
You were there for one reason, and that was to fucking kill shit. Like, dude was training, like, he trained Tim Sylvia, UFC. He trained Rich Franklin, like, back in the day when these guys were fucking champions. Like, he was a animal.
That was a cool gym.
Oh, yeah. He's a fucking savage.
Remember those dumbbells?
Yeah.
Those fucking huge, like.
Yep. We were thrown down. That was a good time. It was a good time. Man, I was all big and juicy then, too.
That was a while ago. Was Jay there? Jay
No.
was. Wasn't it me, you, and Jay?
No, KC?
No, I meant like Jay, like video guy Jay.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
was there
Jay
with
was
us,
there with
right?
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wild.
Yeah.
It's intense. Good times. But Power Station was nuts.
Yeah.
I was in Middletown, Ohio. Literally, probably one of my favorite gyms. Yeah, I don't think there's a better gym to train at. If you were going to train for something, I don't think there's a better place on the planet, in my opinion. It's hardcore. Like, it's just...
Just a raw gym.
At the old gym, there would be like 5 different fucking leg presses lined up in a row. Like, so that, you know how all leg presses aren't created the same.
Yeah.
So you had your choice of leg press, leg extension, leg curl. He had 3 to 5 of every single thing under the fucking sun. Preacher curls, like 10 different preacher curl machines. And I'm like, this is wild place. Bodybuilder's dream.
Yeah.
Wasn't the cleanest, but you're not allowed to be a pussy there either. Mike would kill you. Mike would freak out. Awesome posing room. Man, was that cool. A lot of really good people. Met a lot of really good people there. People were good. The state sucks.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I'll agree on that.
Yeah, people are good. It's just the state.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to have something to say about that, too.
No.
No, he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
But fuck Ohio State.
Yeah. I'm actually a Ohio State fan.
Of course you were.
Jake's father-in-law and my brother's father-in-law, huge Ohio State fan.
Oh, yeah.
Like fucking die hard.
Oh, fuck.
So whenever, you know how people hate Steeler fans?
Yeah.
It's just inevitable because they're fucking everywhere. I lived in, Dayton was the main city. Dayton is the crossroads of America. It's a 70-75 interchange. And that in Dayton, that's why there was fucking titty bars out the ass and a ton of drug running. Because in Dayton, it's crossroads of America. 2 biggest interstates in the whole entire country, crossroads right there. So we're talking tractor trailers out the ass, titty bars every fucking 10 feet in Dayton. Literally, I think there was 15 titty bars in the city of Dayton. It was wild. Like, you drive through there with your kids, you're like, oh, boy, this is a shithole. But anyway, so, where the fuck was I getting at?
I thought you were just going to say drive through with the kids and wish they weren't there so you can just walk into a titty bar.
Oh, no, I went to my fair share of titty bars there.
Oh,
There were some
okay.
good ones. There were some really ugly ones. My mentor made sure I frequented a couple of them. He's one of my favorite. He's another person, one of my favorite people on the planet. Just an absolute riot. Nick. He's a good dude. Wild fucker.
I don't know where you were going.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember either. I was on a fucking. I'm all whacked
You were
out
crossing
on coffee.
through Dayton, and then I don't know.
Shit happens.
Yep.
Shit happens when you party naked.
Yeah.
I used to party naked a lot. College was wild. College was wild. I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know what people do anymore. I don't really. I'm not like I was a bit of a fuck off. You know what I mean? So I don't know like what kids do. Do they drink and fuck off and chase women?
I think
No.
they still kind of do.
Because
I think they wear masks and stay 6 feet apart. That's what they do now.
because they've indoctrinated these children to be kind of pussies, and I'm hoping that they're still
Hopefully those hormones just
taking over. They
Yeah.
still got them.
Maybe they still do cake stands, but with like the mask on.
Well, you know, it's weird because my kid, you know, she thinks cigarettes they're bad, they're stupid. And I'm like, they are. But remember whenever you were like 15 years old and you're like, yeah, I want to fucking look cool on a fucking motorcycle and
smoke a cig.
smoke cigs and fucking ride horses like the Marlboro Man.
Yeah.
Be a cowboy. Like,
Those ads are awesome, like Marlboro ads.
They should bring those back.
I don't think they're allowed. I think it's now like outlawed.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I mean, they used to literally target teenagers.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they do anymore. Like, I don't know if kids do that.
I don't know.
I'm not aware.
They vape.
Oh yeah, vaping,
Vapors.
big thing.
Really?
Yeah, vaping and
E-cigarettes.
e-cigs.
Which are still bad.
Yeah.
Juuls. Are they called Juuls? Like
Yeah.
They're still.
I think they banned the flavors of Juuls.
There's
Because the
there-
teenagers.
There's a new version.
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
same thing.
I don't know. Like, it's just shit that runs across my mind.
Cigarettes are like 3 times the price now.
Yeah.
4 times.
I remember
the price.
buying them I remember my sisters buying them and all their fucking people they hung out with for like $2.25.
Yep. I remember buy one get ones.
Yeah.
High
Fuck
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big thing too.
Yeah. You can't. They're not doing that.
Buy 2 get 1 was a thing. They used to
Yeah.
have like the box packs.
Yeah.
Camels. I remember that.
I remember in high school, everyone would be lined up at the local like gas station when there was buy one get ones.
Yep.
Buy them all out.
Man, do you remember that wild shit? Fucking crazy.
Yeah, like I feel like that behavior doesn't occur.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But then meanwhile, they'll take a bunch of fucking like Molly and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take like designer drugs.
Yeah,
Those are
that's it
bad.
now.
But I don't know. Do they take those things anymore? What drugs do they take nowadays?
I feel like since weed's legal kind of over on the West Coast that people go towards that now.
It's not even like. I feel like weed's not even the same anymore.
Well, I look at it like my kid's going to come into the age where she's going to start doing some really dumb shit. Because I started doing some dumb shit whenever I was that age. Like, you know, freshman in high school, you start experimenting with things. And experimenting with things is, like, that's part of it. They're going to. That's being exposed to the world. So I was just like, I don't know what they do. I don't
I
know.
don't know. Maybe somebody can answer that. Like when we put up another poll question next week. Like, what do you take?
No, I don't know. It's just something that crossed my mind. I mean,
You
I'm
specifically.
We also like can't receive these answers from you kids either. If you're listening to this,
Yeah, you have to be over 18.
I don't know if many. I don't know if many kids listen to our podcast.
that's true.
I don't think so. We don't cater to that.
No,
We don't condone it.
we're not reaching their feed.
No. I mean, for God's sakes, we were talking about him. He's 24 and he's young. Yeah.
Hi.
What's up?
What did you do in high school? Were you a little bit of a fuck off?
No. Me and Cody didn't drink at all in high school.
Really?
Not once. No. We were kind of like made to think like if you did, you're kind of a piece of shit. Like don't be like everybody else. Got to wrestle. I was a fuck off in the sense of grades though. I never did homework or anything. And then
what did you do instead of homework if you weren't drinking?
I played. Yeah, I got a funny story for this. I played a lot of video games in high school. And so
I respect that.
I was like that kind of kid that wore the Guitar Hero pajama pants. So one day, we have my mom's nail salon, which used to be the study. I used to play games. I was in high school playing Guitar Hero in my Guitar Hero pants. This is real. And then Cody comes home through the front door with this chick that I had a crush on for the longest time. And I was just sitting there like jamming the fuck out on Guitar Hero. And she looks at me and I'm like, oh, fucking hey. Just saw you in school yesterday. And then Cody went and banged her. Swear on my life. He knows exactly who it is, too, if he hears this.
You're talking about Cody from Bellator?
Cody Law from Bellator, yeah.
Accent
What
sledge.
a guy. What a guy.
That's what my high school was. It was him bringing girls home and me just being like, oh, hey, you're in my grade. You know? It's weird.
Get somebody your own age.
He did. He was all over the place. Age range.
Big Guitar Hero guy.
Back then, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I used to rip a guitar.
they
in
had
the day.
guitar, what was it, World Tour or something, and then they came out with the drum set
Yeah.
and the microphone. I did everything. I would try to sing the microphone while playing. Like, it was awesome.
Wow. I stopped at the guitar. I didn't get the whole set.
I couldn't do any of them.
No.
I am not musically inclined.
I could rip
Neither
it
am I at all.
on expert. I could throw
Really?
it down. Oh yeah. Yep.
No shit.
Hmm. We should bring it in.
We can. You may buy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get
I
like
got it.
rock bands so we can make a band.
Oh, well. Yeah.
I will not be participating.
Yeah. If you could set all that up.
We still need to get a racing simulator.
Agreed on that. A good one.
Yeah, a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a real car,
Yeah.
like Bob's.
Yeah. I hate this weather. I can't drive any of them.
No way. This weather, fuck no, dude. It's a little dangerous out there.
Although I saw a lot of like Porsche videos, people out in the snow on Instagram.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
like I should probably.
I was actually going to bring that up to you. I was watching and I saw a ton of cool shit like that. I'm like, man.
I might have to get one for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. Man.
Fuck the snow. I used to be into it.
No, I'm cool. I don't.
I'm
I
not
like the
into
cold.
it.
I do enjoy cold weather, but I do not like the snow. Not this much.
It's not fun anymore.
Fuck no, it's dirty.
Yep.
It sucks. Everything's dirty. Fucking houses are dirty. Your carpets are dirty. Your fucking vehicles are dirty.
Mm-hmm.
This is ugly. This is why I hate the snow, because it's just dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Too much salt.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And the whatever they spray, that just fucking gunks up the car.
Bunch of chemicals.
Yep.
Yep.
I was behind one when they were doing it.
I lay back.
Yeah, I maneuvered around.
Don't fuck with it. Man. Well, apparently I was a fucking complete degenerate douchebag whenever I was in high school. Partied, did a bunch of drugs.
I was no cup of tea. That's for sure.
I'll never forget the one time. Dude, you know what? I had a lot of really great memories fucking off in my neighborhood. With all my buddies.
I had a lot of close calls.
Oh,
I should have got in way more trouble than what I
oh,
did.
dude, if there was the thing we didn't have, there was no fucking cell phones, nothing like it. We were literally roaming the fucking neighborhood with cases of beer.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my one buddy, we were running back and forth because we just had that moment. Our buddies were with that group of girls, so he and I were just getting fucking pissed drunk. And his name's Kurt Lorenz. Me and that dude, we caused a little bit of trouble together. He was one of the wildest dudes. Wrestling family, literally fucking just savages. Mm-hmm. And he and I running the fucking neighborhood one night. There was this one divot. We were fucking running back and forth because my house had the beer, and the girls were at the other house, and our buddies were with the girls. So we're like, fuck it, we'll just run back and forth, fuck off, party for the evening, have a good time, you know. So the one trip back, we had a case of fucking beer. It's like half a case left because we were just running beers back and forth for everybody, and there was this divot in this yard that we were running through. And like we knew it was there, and as we kept getting more and more drunk throughout the night, like that divot was giving us a hard time. So the one time we had like half a case of beer, it was half a 24 pack. We're running back to the girl's house, and he looks at me, and we're hammered at this point, and he's like, "Hey, don't forget about the divot. And as he's saying divot, fucking dude eats shit into the divot. And I sure enough fall. Fucking beers go everywhere. We're in the backyard of somebody. It's like fucking 1 a.m. And I'm like, looking back at it now, if I would have woke up in the middle of the night and saw 2 teenage fucking boys with cases of beers and beers all through my backyard, I'd been like, man.
Oh, I'd be dying. It'd be a riot.
I would be so pumped. I'd be like, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Good job, kids. Like, you're having a good time.
See, like, I don't think you see that now.
That's what I mean. Like, I'll never forget that memory because we were hammered, just running back. We're like 18 years old, senior year in high school. I don't think if you see that.
Or, like, I feel like you're getting in trouble if you're running through someone's yard now. Like, now it's like, are you going to break into the house? Are you doing something? Like, people think the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
We're probably doing the same fucking thing.
But if I would have. Could you imagine seeing 2 teenage boys with cases of beers running through your backyard? Yeah. I'd fucking die. Be like, what are you guys doing? Oh, fuck. That's funny.
We were standing behind a neighbor's shed, burning one time. And the neighbor came out to go in his shed, and like it had like little windows. Had windows in the back of the shed. So, like, he opens the window and is like, hey, like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, oh, like, we're, like, hiding it. And he's like, why are you burning that behind my shed? He's like, what's wrong with their shed or, like, their shed? Because, like, it was 2 houses down from where my buddy's house was. He's like, you think your parents don't smell it 2 houses down? He's like, just go behind your shed. He wasn't even mad. He was, like, laughing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, looking at it now.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to live in a neighborhood just to see if kids actually do this shit. Because it's like, hey, you guys burn it? Now I get it. Like movies where, like, the neighbor comes out and smokes weed with the kid because it's like, I haven't done this in, like, 15 years.
Well, we continue to do it. And he knew we were always behind there. He knew we weren't fucking it up or doing anything. Yeah.
Dude, I just want to burn one behind your shed.
Yeah.
You ever smoke one with you?
No.
Oh.
No.
No, he knew better.
Yeah.
Like, don't smoke weed with kids, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
That's funny.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I don't know what happens today. Guess I'm going to find out.
Yep, you are.
Fuck.
Damn it.
Good luck with
I was
that.
a fuck off, dude. I did a lot of wild shit. Good times, though.
Yep.
All led me to the position that I'm in today. And I get to sit on a podcast with a bunch of people listening about the dumb shit that I did. That's funny. And the people that I know that listen to this were like, yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
I'll never. Yep. I'm lucky that I came out of this shit with, like, nothing really fucked up. Mm-hmm. I should have been arrested many times. A lot of the bad shit that I did.
Like, looking back, there was, like, a lot of times where law enforcement just let us be kids. And, like, I should have gotten in some more trouble.
Yeah. There's a couple of times I could have did some serious time. Oh. Just don't get into the hard drugs. That's it. Just don't get into the hard drugs. Stay away from those. Mm-hmm. Stay in school. Stayed in school. Wrap your dick up. Could have learned that one. It's hard to say because good job.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Yeah, did a good job. Fuck. I didn't follow some of my rules. Guess that's why there are rules of my life now to tell youngsters. Mm-hmm. Stay in school. Don't drink in youngsters.
You old bastard.
Bro, I've had a kid since I was 22 years old. Like,
yeah.
That's I'm there. Fucking there. Kid is going to be, I'm going to have a 15-year-old soon.
Oh, fuck.
That's wild. Yeah. Hannah's she's at the meet this weekend, the guy that runs it, Doug. Mm-hmm. Adeline's literally a head taller. Adeline's fucking 5'4", $120. Mm-hmm. Bitch is jacked. She's a big bitch. Mm-hmm. She's they're at the meet getting ready, and Doug, the guy that runs it, Hannah's known him for fucking a decade now. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, the level 9s are coming up, and he's talking to her, and she's like, oh yeah, this is Adeline, my stepdaughter, and he goes, stepdaughter? He's like, how old is she? And Hannah's like, she's 14. And she's like, how old are you? She's like, I'm 26. He's like, Bless your soul. 14? Like, just amazed by them. She's like, yeah, we got a unique, very unique life. But people see it, and it's wild because Adeline's, she's huge. Hannah's 5'1", maybe. 5 foot. Mm-hmm. You know, she's 107 pounds, and Adeline's just towering over her. Adeline's a big bitch.
She's jacked.
Yeah. Yep. Life is a wild one. Mm-hmm. Stay in school. Don't do hard drugs. Don't drink and drive. Wrap your dick up.
Yep.
Life rules to live by. But you got to have fun still. Yeah.
Yeah, put fun in there.
Yeah, put fun in there. Have sex, just wear a rubber. Mm-hmm. Don't need any kids or diseases. Mm-hmm. You can drink, just don't drink and then drive.
Mm-hmm. Smoke weed, it's okay.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fine. Don't do the hard drugs. Don't go doing a fucking bunch of blow and getting into that. That's just leading to trouble. Mm-hmm. You might think it's fun at the time, but it never ends well. Mm-hmm. Never. And I don't mean the end of the night. I mean the end of your stint with cocaine, because once you start, it doesn't really stop. Other than that, everybody, I want you to have a beautiful and wonderful day. Keep working hard and get that libido up. Face fucker. She's gonna, no, don't do that. Be very polite with her. Only if she wants it. In that case, you got to treat her like a whore every now and then. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.